In Hunter Biden continuing to believe that offense is even better than defense, Hunter Biden has gone on the offensive in a lawsuit against Rudy Giuliani, claiming that Rudy Giuliani improperly hacked his data from the laptop from hell. So the laptop, of course, which, as you will remember, was branded by the news as Russian disinformation, not real and not genuine. As it turns out, it's real and, authentic and really Hunter Biden's. And Hunter Biden is now suing Rudy Giuliani for his part in exposing all this. So it's not real. It's disinformation. It is real. You weren't supposed to use it. That is where this news cycle is going. Hunter Biden also, of course, has recently sued the IRS and sued everyone else in sight in a desperate attempt to fight back. So that's what's going on. Let's learn a little bit more about this hacking lawsuit against Rudy Giuliani. Let's get started with this. In Hunter Biden's latest lawsuit against those who he has accused of perpetrating an illegal campaign to disseminate materials taken from a laptop he purportedly abandoned at a Delaware shop, which, at this point, he can't deny because otherwise the claim doesn't make any sense. So, of course, it's his laptop because otherwise he wouldn't have standing in it. Earlier this month, he sued Donald Trump's White House aide on similar allegations relating to hacking. Also recently sued the IRS over allegations that two agents violated privacy laws by sharing personal information about his financials gleaned from investigations over Biden with the media. Hunter Biden is here. He is making his voice clear. He wants to let you know that the IRS and Giuliani and everyone else is just out to get him. And they're a bunch of mean people. Okay. Giuliani and his allies have long argued the purported laptop was fair game because it was allegedly abandoned. There's nothing allegedly about it, by the way. It's just clear as a matter of law. It was left and failed to be picked up. And, they gave out all the notifications, gave out all the warnings, and pursuant to agreement, it became abandoned property. So, yeah, it would be abandoned. And by being abandoned, it became the property of the owner of the laptop company, who then can do anything they want with it because they're the owner of it. So, yeah. But at the heart of the lawsuit is an argument that regardless of wherever any piece of computer hardware was located, the data itself still belongs to him alone. So you might have possession of the laptop, but you don't have possession of the data on the laptop, which I'm not really sure makes any sense, by the way, because the data is on the laptop. The data, of course, itself is property. It's on the laptop, which is also property, which is now in the possession of the company. So, but they've said that they didn't abandon the data, I guess. That's what we're going with. A member of the legal team granted anonymity to discuss the legal strategy put it this way. If you take your coat to the dry cleaner and leave your wallet in it and forget to pick it up, it doesn't mean the dry cleaner gets to your wallet and all your money. It's just common sense. No, that kind of is what that means. I mean, if you abandon your coat at the dry cleaner, then they get possession of your coat, including anything that happened to be in the coat at the time. That's kind of just how that works. Yeah, if you take your coat to the dry cleaner and leave your wallet in it, then they get possession of the coat. They also get possession of the wallet because it was in the coat that you abandoned. So, I'm not sure why that analogy doesn't make sense to them, but it makes sense to me. So they're trying to go with that theory, but I'm not seeing it. The member of the legal team hinted even more litigation will follow. I'm sure that much is true. Everyone involved in stealing and manipulating the data should be hearing footsteps right about now. We love that offense, man. Hunter Biden didn't do nothing wrong. He's a young miscreant youth of 53 who, in his youthful formative years has made a few missteps. And why are you holding it against him? Okay. So we're going with that. Tad Gutman, a former spokesperson for Giuliani, said the mayor did not manipulate the data, saying, quote, Hunter Biden has previously refused to admit ownership of the laptop. I'm not surprised he's now falsely claiming the laptop hard drive was manipulated by Giuliani, considering the evidence, which, I don't think so. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Also, you can't claim it's manipulated if you don't claim ownership of the laptop. So I guess the laptop is now Hunter Biden's, at least according to Hunter Biden. So that's fun. The material that Trump allies have called the laptop from hell has fueled Republican lawmakers' enthusiasm for probing the president, which, yeah, because, it's some hard evidence that gives you the basis to think that, some things are, not quite right and maybe require some further examination. So, yes. Less than 2 weeks ago, the House Speaker announced an impeachment inquiry. For Giuliani, of course, the lawsuit is the latest in a long string of civil and criminal legal fights that have led to legal bills and a crowded calendar. Giuliani is facing many problems on many fronts. On the law, this is not one of them, though. This lawsuit is lame. But yes, Giuliani is facing more potent threats in other lawsuits and other issues. So Giuliani has problems. This isn't one of them. I have 99 problems, but a laptop ain't one. Hit me. A federal judge recently found him liable for defaming 2 Georgia election workers and scheduled a December 11th trial to determine what he'll pay him. He's been indicted alongside Trump in Fulton County, which, it's not going great. Also named as an unnamed co-conspirator in Trump's criminal case in Washington, D.C., also related to the 2020 election. And of course, it's been sued by former employees for workplace misconduct. So facing many, many problems, so many, many issues. Also recently, Costello himself sued Giuliani to recover more than $1 million in unpaid legal bills. So perhaps somewhat like Trump himself, Giuliani apparently not so good at paying the bills. All I have to say to this is that if you're either of these guys' lawyers, get the retainer up front and make it big. Get a big ass retainer. Like if Trump wants me as his lawyer, he's going to have to give me several $1 million in cash up front. I am not playing this game. Right? Where we're going to bill you on the back end. No, how about you give me, I don't even know what a fair retainer would be for Trump at this point. $5 million? $10 million for all his cases and all their legal complexity? How about you just write me a check with zeros and I'll decide when we stop? Because that's about how well it goes, apparently getting collection from these guys. Get the money up front, man. Throughout the lawsuit, Biden seeks to cast doubt on authenticity of the purported contents of the laptop, emphasizing that Giuliani and Costello have only claimed to have received hard drive containing contents of the laptops, saying, quote, that Biden data was manipulated, altered, and damaged before it was copied and sent to defendants, which, okay. And defendants' illegal hacking and tampering has involved further allegation and damage to a degree it's presently unknown, Biden's attorneys wrote. Sure, it's all manipulated data. It's all just fabricated data. I don't really buy that, to be honest. I'm not really feeling the fabrication, but okay. I mean, you guys have said that the laptop wasn't even real. So you're claiming that the data is manipulated. Stretches credulity because you previously said this laptop isn't even real. It's Russian disinformation. None of this is true. It's all one big conspiracy. So your credibility when you say, okay, it's real, but it's all been hacked and manipulated, runs a little thin. I don't believe you. I don't believe you that it's all hacked and manipulated. I think you're lying to me. Just taking notes. Biden's laptop was found at a repair shop in Delaware, owned by John Paul Mac Isaac. He has sued a whole bunch of people for defamation, and civil conspiracy in that lawsuit also remains pending. Biden's attorneys, for their part, trying to have their cake and eat it too, say, then this part is just hilarious. I can't even believe they're trying to do this and say it with a straight face, but they're going to try. Biden's attorneys say, quote, this is not an admission by Biden that John Paul Mac Isaac or others, in fact, possessed any particular laptop containing electronically stored data belonging to Biden. Wow. So they're still trying to have their cake and eat it too. So they're still not even willing to admit the laptop is real. We're not admitting the laptop is real. That is some having your cake and eating it too moments. We're not saying that he had possession of the laptop. Wow. Rather, Biden simply acknowledges that at some point, Mac Isaac obtained electronically stored data from somewhere. From somewhere. What laptop, they say? We are not admitting that this is really a Biden laptop. Once again, I feel like this strains credulity, and once again makes me somewhat distrust you. You're saying that it's not the laptop, it's not a real laptop. He just obtained information from somewhere and or fabricated and or manipulated it. Okay. Sure. That sounds plausible. The lawsuit also points to numerous public statements by Giuliani and Costello in which they describe accessing Biden's data via the hard drive. In those statements, they describe scrutinizing thousands of emails, financial records, and personal photos. Yep. Biden is seeking monetary damages from Giuliani, his business, and Costello, as well as other unnamed defendants who he say may be added later to the lawsuit, also seeking an injunction that would bar Giuliani from any further access of Biden's data from any property they may or may not have obtained that may or may not have belonged to Biden. Wow. I mean, you got to admire Biden's lawyers at some level. It's like Hunter Biden's lawyers are really trying to have it all. They are really trying to have it all at the same time. I think they're running into problems, but who am I to say? All right, let's wrap this up. Thus, that brings us to the end of the case where Hunter Biden is going on the offensive, claiming Rudy Giuliani hacked his data from somewhere. We don't know where. What laptop? We don't acknowledge a laptop. What are you talking about? We don't acknowledge a laptop, or the data came from somewhere. It was hacked and manipulated, and it isn't real, and it's disinformation and all the rest of it. So Hunter Biden trying to sue Giuliani. I don't see that lawsuit going particularly well for Hunter Biden on all that, but I suppose I appreciate that they're trying to go on the offensive despite the fact that they have nothing to work with. So maybe if they pound the table hard enough, somehow they'll win. I guess. I don't know. But they're trying, I suppose, for whatever value it has. So that lawsuit is ongoing, and that for the moment brings us to the end of discussion of this case.